What's up YouTube, it's your boy Rhett back at it again with another video. I've got major bad news for the crypto homies today. Earlier last week, one of my favorite companies in the crypto space, BlockFi, dropped their interest rates for the second time in 2 months. Everyone is freaking out and they're wondering, is BlockFi still worth it? However, BlockFi also temporarily raised some of their rates and no one's really talking about it, so we're gonna talk about that in this video as well. So if you watch to the end of the video, we're gonna go over what the new rates are, what I'm gonna be doing with regards to keeping my funds on BlockFi, how you can actually get higher interest rates with BlockFi for the next few months. And then finally, I'm gonna give you not financial advice about what you should be doing. Go down below, smash the like button for not financial advice, and let's jump into it. All right, so here are the gory details. So previously, before this interest rate drop, you were getting 6% APY on up to 1 Bitcoin, which I personally thought was a really great deal. 1 Bitcoin is a lot of money and 6% is a lot of interest. Now you're only getting 5% APY on Bitcoin, which in my opinion is still a pretty good deal. But now you're only getting that 5% on up to half a Bitcoin. So if you had 0.6 Bitcoin on the platform, the first half of Bitcoin would earn that 5% interest. And then that last 1/10 of a Bitcoin to get you to 0.6 would only earn 2% interest. As such, tier 2, that range where you're earning that 2% has been expanded from 1 Bitcoin up to 20 to half a Bitcoin up to 20. And then if for some reason you're holding 20 plus Bitcoin on the platform, congratulations on your $1 million of Bitcoin, by the way. Unfortunately, your $1 million of Bitcoin will only be earning 0.5% interest, which is still actually a little bit more than my high interest savings account. And then there's a similar story down here with Ethereum. There was a rate drop and then a huge amount drop. This tier 1 Ethereum rate is only going to be valid up to 15 Ethereum as opposed to 100, which is what it was before. And then tier 2 and tier 3 for Ethereum are basically the same, just like Bitcoin was. It's really just the amount that's shrinking and then that top tier of interest that's changing. And then if you're holding Link or Litecoin or PaxG, which I have a feeling almost no one is doing that, I think people really use BlockFi for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stable coins. You're losing 1% on Link, Litecoin, and PaxG, and there is no tiered fee structure there. It's all just down 1%. So I'm looking at these interest rates and I was already a little uncomfortable holding my Bitcoin on BlockFi, just because not your keys, not your coins. BlockFi, in my opinion, is a really reputable company, and that 6% interest rate, plus their reputation of being really great at managing risk, and just how transparent the leadership is there, gave me enough trust to keep some of my Bitcoin on BlockFi, even though not your keys, not your cheese, obviously. The 5% rate hurts a little bit, but 5% is still a really good interest rate. When you compare it to traditional investments like my high interest savings account that's only yielding 0.4%, that 5% interest rate on Bitcoin is more than 10 times that. The 2% though on any amount over half a Bitcoin is what really hurts in my opinion. This is actually the second rate drop in a row, and last month when they did the rate drop, they took the rate down from 6% on 2 Bitcoin to 6% on 1 Bitcoin. And when they did that, I sort of saw the writing on the wall here. Some of the crypto arbitrage trades are not as profitable as they used to be earlier in the year, and so it made sense that BlockFi had to drop their interest rate. And so when I saw this, I thought I'm going to take advantage of this interest rate while it still lasts, and I actually put more Bitcoin onto the platform when that happened. And so now a portion of my stack on BlockFi is only going to be yielding 2% APY. And that level of interest seems really not worth it to me. So going forward, I'm not going to be contributing any new Bitcoin to my BlockFi account, other than those sweet monthly interest payments, which I am still receiving from BlockFi in the form of Bitcoin. And if they lower the threshold for the 5% interest again, I'll probably start to pull some of my Bitcoin off of the platform. So with all that negative stuff being said about the Bitcoin interest rate, I still do think that BlockFi is an excellent platform to use for US dollar stablecoin interest. And they even have a promotional offer going on right now where from now until July 31st of this year, you can actually get a 10% APY on any new stablecoins you add between now and July 31st. The typical interest rate is 8.6%, which I still think is phenomenal and much, much better than you're gonna get at any traditional savings account. And that 10% gets paid out in one lump sum on August 13th of this year. So if you have been waiting to jump into BlockFi, but you've been really turned off like I have been by them continuing to drop the Bitcoin interest rate, you actually have a chance to earn more than a normal amount of money on the platform when you deposit US dollar stablecoins over the next few months here. On top of that, when you sign up using my link down in the description, you can actually get up to $250 of free Bitcoin when you fund your account. It seems to me like they're doing this US dollar stablecoin promotion to sort of appease some of us that are a little upset about the Bitcoin and Ethereum rates falling. And And so I'm definitely going to take this opportunity to get a little bit more interest on the US dollars that I am holding and take advantage of that 10% interest rate over the next couple months. So that's what I'm doing. But just like any other investment that we talk about on this channel, and really any investment that you hear about on the internet or from friends or really anywhere in your life, don't just listen to what I say or what other people say. You should do your own research and determine if this investment is a good opportunity or a bad opportunity for you given your financial goals and your current money situation. In this case, you should consider the risks of leaving your money on a platform like BlockFi. You should consider the risk of switching to another platform like Celsius or HODL HODL. And you should consider, is the upside of that interest rate that they're giving you worth the downside of you having to give your keys to someone else? If you're not very comfortable managing your own keys, maybe this is a really easy decision for you. Maybe you're thinking, hey Rhett, I'm not gonna manage my own keys anyway, and 2% is a lot better than 0%, so I'm gonna leave all my Bitcoin on the platform. Or maybe you fall into the camp where you're really comfortable holding your own private keys, and you're thinking 2% is not nearly worth the risk of BlockFi going out of business or someone mismanaging my keys and my money just disappearing overnight. To be clear, I think that that's a very small risk. BlockFi has done an excellent job managing risk up to this point and has been very public about the decisions that they've made in managing risk. And so I actually place a good deal of faith in them to make the right decisions and to not offer interest rates that are above what they can afford to pay out to customers. And to be honest, it makes me a little skeptical when competitors to BlockFi offer very high interest rates when they're in pretty much the same situation as BlockFi. They make money in the same way. And so that signals to me that those other companies are not being as cautious with the interest rates that they're giving out. I think the best way to make some of these risk management decisions is to assign a probability that you think is accurate. Obviously, you'll never know the true probability, but just coming up with something that you think is in the ballpark of what is the chance that BlockFi loses your money. Maybe that's like a 1% risk to you. And then just do out the expected value problem. 99% chance that you don't lose your money and you get 5% interest versus 1% chance you lose your money and you get nothing. Doing that calculation is going to allow you to come up with an expected value of what you expect to make by putting your money into a platform like BlockFi. You can really do this same math when it comes to any investment. The other way that I like to think about whether BlockFi in particular is worth it or not, I used this logic in my first video about BlockFi and it was a little contentious in the comments. Some people thought, Rhett, that's not really a fair assessment, but I'll share it again with you now and then let you make your own decision about whether it's a good idea to model the risk like this or not. So historically, over the last 12 years that Bitcoin has been around, it's gone up on average 200% a year. So in your opinion, how much risk is it worth taking to get an extra 6% a year? So 200% a year doing nothing, or 206% a year putting those coins on BlockFi. Some commenters in the last video pointed out that this is not exactly what's happening because that extra 6% interest that you're getting in BlockFi would also go up by 200% a year. So it would be closer to something like 212%. But to the point of some of those commenters, that's just in the first year. After that, that 212% or whatever it was would also start to compound at 6%. And so over a long period of time, you'd actually make a lot more money than just the 206%. I still think comparing 200% to 206% is a good way to think about it, but it is definitely oversimplified. It is a little bit more complicated than that. And we are abstracting away some of the compounding and some of the benefits to putting your money on something like BlockFi. So this is a more conservative take, the 200% versus the 206%. If you're looking to better understand BlockFi's business model and understand how they're able to offer these really high interest rates in the first place, you should go check out my first video on BlockFi. We go over how BlockFi makes its money and is able to give you these interest rates. And then also we go a little bit more in depth about what the risks of using a company like BlockFi are to manage your keys. And so if you want to learn more about BlockFi, I'll leave a link up in the cards up here, and you should go check that video out after you're done watching this one. For even more information about BlockFi, stuff that I'm definitely not going to be able to cover in this video, I'm going to leave 2 podcasts down in the description. The first one is with the Chief Risk Officer of BlockFi, and the second one is with the CEO of BlockFi. Those 2 podcasts are excellent if, when you go watch my other video on BlockFi, you're still a little bit confused about how they're able to offer these interest rates, as well as what their different risk management strategies are. I think if you are skeptical about how BlockFi is managing risk, once you go check out those podcasts, that's going to clear up a lot of your outstanding questions. Go like the video if you learned something. It really helps out the channel and it helps spread this video to other people on YouTube. If you found it helpful, hopefully they can find it just as helpful. Comment down below, are you fed up with BlockFi and are you going to move to something like Celsius or HODL HODL? Or if you're going to stick it out like me and even double down on some of the US dollar stablecoin interest. Also, feel free if you were confused at all to leave a comment down below. I do still respond to all the comments. And then subscribe and hit the notification bell for more tech, money, and success videos every Monday Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I love you all. Goodbye.